Alright guys, obviously we're in a very different setup. I was not expecting Warzone Mobile to drop early, but it did, and I wanted to get this video done as soon as possible, so I have been working in my hotel room for the last 2 hours to get this one finished up. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. If it is, drop a like and subscribe. We'll hop into it. With Warzone Mobile on the way on the 21st, there's going to be a lot of people who are playing the game for the first time, or at least some variation of it, whether it be Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3. So, knowing how many people are going to have brand new accounts, I figured it would be best to give me recommendations for you guys on the best weapons to use in the game that you can unlock early on, because a lot of these weapons take a lot of time to unlock. We're going to be breaking down the 5 meta weapons that you can unlock within the first day without having to grind an insane amount for it. So if you guys enjoy the video, drop a like down below, subscribe for more content like this. We'll go ahead and hop into it. If you're looking for the very first weapon that you should upgrade, look no further than the MTZ-556. Whenever you create a new Warzone Mobile account, this is actually one of the very first weapons that you will unlock. And with a metascore of 9.17, it's not too terribly far behind the rest of the top guns. Like all guns, the MTZ has its pros and cons. It's an assault rifle, so naturally it's built a little bit more for the long range, and while it doesn't do the highest amount of damage, number one, it has a very high rate of fire, which means if you're not a super accurate player and you're trying to get used to the game, it's going to be very, very forgiving when you're missing your shots because you have a faster follow-up. Secondly, it has a lot better mobility than a lot of assault rifles in the same category. So because of that, it can be built out different ways. If you want it to be a sniper support, you can build it to be a little bit more aggressive and use it in the close range. But because of its low recoil, it can absolutely still be used as a main AR as well, holding down some of those longer power positions. I would say because of how easy it is to use, this should be the go-to AR for people that are just trying to get comfortable in Warzone Mobile. One of the cool things about having cross progression for Warzone Mobile with the mainline side of things is there are already a ton of resources available for people that want to find out more about how weapons work in the game and what the meta really is. So there's actually a website I discovered called ggs.ai that I would 100% recommend. This is where I get all my stats from. They're 100% reliable, and the gunsmiths that they've recommended have not failed me a single time. So obviously it is going to be a more long-range oriented build that they're recommending, but as you guys can see, it also gives you side-by-side comparisons with other weapons, what the time to kill looks like. It gives each and every weapon an individual rating for a lot of different stats in the game and what it really specializes in. I would 100% recommend this, and this is what we're going to use to break down the rest of our weapons as well. You can see side-by-side with the Ram 7. The MTZ might not have the most ideal stats, but once again, fantastic rate of fire and very solid mobility for an assault rifle make this a fantastic option for just about any player, and especially if you're just trying to figure out how to play the game, it's the weapon for you. Our next gun that you should be leveling up in Warzone Mobile is going to be the HRM SMG. Now, one thing you need to know before you start doing this is that Warzone Mobile actually has a really cool feature that allows you to go back and unlock some of the weapons and other items that you would have only been able to unlock on the PC and console side of things. This is called the Arsenal Store. You can find it in your store tab, and in there you'll find guns like the HRM9 that you can unlock using the Arsenal currency, and all you really have to do to earn more of that currency is just keep playing the game. So more than likely, simply by leveling up your MTZ, you're probably going to earn enough currency to buy at least one of our top 3 guns, if not 2, and that's a store you're going to want to keep on checking as many times as you can, because there are a ton of super usable items that you definitely don't want to be missing out on. Now, as far as the SMG itself, the HRM has pretty much been solidified as the #1 SMG in the game, period, so the fact that it's available in the Arsenal store is just that much more of a bonus. The HRM has great mobility. It has a 50-round drum magazine that you can equip on it, which makes it a lot more easy to handle multiple player gunfights. Even though it does have a pretty steady damage drop-off, I will say even if you need to use it in a pinch, it can work in the mid-range just because it doesn't really have a whole lot of recoil, especially if you're using the build that is recommended on ggs.ai. Another thing you will need to keep in mind is that a lot of these attachments have to be unlocked by using other guns, so if it's starting to get confusing confusing, you're wondering, hey, I've got the gun to this level, why isn't it unlocking the attachment? There's a good chance you need to be looking at a separate gun instead, but usually there are easier to unlock alternatives that can be substituted for some of those more grind-heavy attachments. The last weapon you're going to want to level up in Warzone Mobile is another weapon that's available in the Arsenal store. Big bonus for you guys. The Ram 7 is widely regarded as the #1 AR in the game, and for good reason. This thing packs a punch, so you're not going to need to land nearly as many shots in order to get a kill. Because it's a higher damage weapon, that also means you're getting more value per magazine. So one of the big downsides for guns like the MTZ is, yes, it's able to do some solid damage output, but because you're using more bullets to do that damage and you have a maximum capacity, you're going to be somewhat limited in how many players you can take down with an individual magazine. You won't have to worry about that nearly as much with the Ram 7 because this thing's an absolute laser beam. Like we said, it hits like a tank. Because it's available in the Arsenal store, if you are more of an assault rifle type of player, you can substitute this as the second weapon that you level up in place of the HRM. But these two make for an absolutely lethal combo on Verdansk, on Rebirth Island, wherever you want to use them. That wraps things up. If you guys got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll see you guys in the broadcast tomorrow.